Hello everybody, this is former WWE superstar Eugene, and today I'm going to read some comments from fans that are really nice and good, and some of them are not so good. Enjoy. At Ghost Inch says, "Hey man, as a person with mental disabilities such as autism, and I have family who has autism, I just want to thank you for the Eugene character. I grew up loving him as a kid. You're a great guy. Hopefully I can meet you in Michigan someday. I'll forever respect you." It's things like that, and that's really touching. At Lance_Sade. "The closest thing to an autistic character in wrestling," referring to Eugene, "as someone with ASD, it's the first and unfortunately last time I've ever felt represented in wrestling. Like looking in a mirror. Thanks, Nick." Those things usually make me tear up. I've done that before. At CheckerSlime9478. "Part of me thinks the Eugene character was really offensive, but I've seen a lot of adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who were inspired by the gimmick. So ultimately, I'm like, who am I to judge?" Unregistered.hypercam.2. I don't know what that is. "I'm autistic, was 11 or 12 when the Eugene character debuted. Absolutely loved the character, fully aware that he was just that, a character. I didn't find it offensive then, and 20 years later, I still don't find it offensive. At least not more than much of anything else. If you look back and get past the mentally handicapped pro wrestler, the character wasn't actually treated much more like a butt of a joke than the other wrestlers on the roster." At Mr. Gaming. "I really related to the Eugene character in so many ways. The way he talked, the way he hyper-focused on his passion of wrestling, the way he really felt like me because I have autism, and even though I've always been able to write and read pretty well, my speech was a lot like Eugene. So seeing the character that literally talked like me put into a position of success really helped me feel like I could be something. I never became anything, but the fact that there was a character to give me that hope means the world to me." Mr. Gamer, you have become something. You've become a Eugene fan. And it's people like you that really touch me, that really make me feel special. When you talk about the way I talk, I never really had a deep, booming voice, that deep, booming, babyface voice to cut a promo. I never really had that. But the Eugene character didn't need to have that. My voice might be a little higher, it might crack, and as a kid, I would tend to stutter sometimes, and I still do, but the Eugene character could because he didn't have to be an eloquent speaker. At Metal Wizard 91 says, "As a wrestling fan with a learning disability, I didn't find anything remotely controversial about the character. To some, maybe, but for me, it's an opportunity for people with learning disabilities to put their mind to what they want to do in a career. But for me, it is a hope that beats the odds of career limitation." Thank you, Metal Wizard. And I've received so many stories like that where people thank me for the character that I played, and it's truly an honor to be able to do something that I love, but then people love it back just as much. So I want to thank all of you that have encouraged me to, fully pursue the character. I don't know. Time out. And the only people that have really hated on me for doing the character, it's happened more recently. And it's only happened online, never face to face. It's only people hiding behind a keyboard saying that what I did was wrong when, they don't have a dog in the fight and they don't know the whole story. I don't feel like I have to justify myself to those people, but what we say was it was a different time. We can't look back at 20 years ago and try to judge 20 years ago through the lens of today. But just because sometimes I think it's funny to listen to the haters, I'll read a couple of these comments that I've gotten. Alexander Vasconcelos. "Eugene was a portrayal of a person who is intellectually disabled and not well done, and not a well done one either." Oh, fuck me. "The crowds eventually turned on this character real hard after a while." What show was he watching? At Disliked 1390. "As a kid/teen, I didn't even realize his character was problematic at all. I thought he was like acting like a kid or something, just goofy, half kid, half adult guy, whatever. It's when I grew older and saw some old wrestling videos that I went like, oh yeah, I get it now. You look like a great guy and you did what you had to do, but that character was a bit of a disrespectful stereotype." Well, at Dislike 1390, now I know why you're disliked. But some of what you're saying is true. It was an adult with the mind of a child. But It was never said that he had any kind of disabilities. And how is playing a character that people love disrespectful? A man who had legitimate wrestling talent ruined by that piss-awful Eugene character. There was no washing away the stains of that. I imagine when he accepted, he didn't take into account the fact this character was going to age like milk. He probably thought it was his ticket to stardom and probably never thought it would forever ruin his reputation. My reputation has been ruined for playing this character. Well, you're kind of half right, because that was my ticket in. Like I said, I wasn't going to make it as Mr. Wrestling Nick Dinsmore. WWE wasn't going to put that, they weren't going to, I wasn't marketable as that. I needed a character, but I don't think the character aged like milk. I think people look back on the Eugene character with love and reverence. If you like this video and you want to see more content from Eugene behind the scenes, click on one of these videos. They are awesome.